First Amendment rights. The First Amendment rights protects Americans' rights to freedom in religion and freedom of expression. The Supreme Court has ruled that the First Amendment also protects the rights to speak anonymously. The Supreme Court has held that the following types of speech are not protected by the First Amendment and may be forbidden by the government: perjury, fraud, defamation, obscene speech, incitement of panic, incitements of crime, fighting words, and sedition, incitements of discontent or rebellion against a government. Two of these types of speech, obscene speech and defamation, are particularly relevant to the information technology. The two types of speech. First, the obscene speech. The obscene speech, Miller v. California, is the 1973 Supreme Court case that established a test of determining if materials is obscene and therefore not protected by the First Amendment. After conducting a mass mailing campaign to advertise the sale of adult materials, Marvin Miller was convicted of violating a California statute prohibiting the distributions of obscene materials. Second, the defamation. The defamation, the right to freedoms of expressions, is restricted when the expressions, whether spoken or written, are untrue and cause harm to another person, making either an oral or a written statement of alleged fact that is false and that harms another person. Defamation. Although there are clear and convincing arguments to support freedom of speech on the internet, the issue is complicated by the ease with which children can use the internet to gain to material that many parents and others feel inappropriate for children. The conundrum is that it is difficult to restrict children's internet access without also restricting adult access and violating First Amendment rights.
Good day, my name is Mary Jane A. Estabillo, and I'm going to discuss all about the several laws to attempt to address the issues. First, the Communications Decency Act or the CDA. It aimed at protecting children from online pornography. Pornography sites are open on the internet nowadays, and sometimes it shows on the ads randomly while we are searching on the internet. Another law is the Child Online Protection Act or the COPA, which prohibits making harmful materials available to minors via the internet. The parents should restrict their children because they can see scandals on the internet. And lastly, the Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act was not ruled unconstitutional and provides immunity to ISPs that publish user-generated content, as long as they do not also serve as a content provider. Software manufacturers have developed internet filters which are designed to block access to objectionable material through a combination of URL, keyword, and dynamic content filtering. Internet filter is software that can be used to block access to certain websites that contain material deemed inappropriate or offensive. The best internet filters use a combination of URL, keyword, and dynamic content filtering. With URL filtering, a particular URL or domain name is identified as belonging to an objectionable site and the user is not allowed access to it. Keyword filtering uses keywords or phrases such as sex, Satan, and gambling to block websites. Children's Internet Protection Act or the CIPA, in another attempt to protect children from accessing pornography and other explicit material online, Congress passed the Children's Internet Protection Act CIPA in 2000. The act required federally financed schools and libraries to use some form of technology protection such as the internet filter to block computer access to obscene material, pornography, and anything else considered harmful to minors. Internet censorship is the control or suppression of the publishing or accessing of information on the internet. Censorship can take many forms, such as limiting access to certain websites, allowing access to only some content or modified content at certain websites, rejecting the use of certain keywords in search engine searches, tracking and monitoring the internet activities of individuals, and harassing or even jailing individuals for their internet use. Strategic lawsuit against public participants or the SLAP, SLAPP. Strategic lawsuit against public participation, SLAP, is a strategy employed by corporations, government officials, and others against citizens and community groups who oppose them on matters of public interest. A SLAPP is typically without merit and is used to intimidate critics out of fear of the cost and effort associated with a major legal battle. Many would question the ethics and legality of using a SLAP. Others would claim that all is fair when it comes to politics and political issues.
Anonymity on the internet. Anonymous expression is that expression of opinions by people who do not reveal their identity. The freedom to express an opinion without fear of reprisal is an important right of democratic society. Anonymity is even more important in countries that don't allow free speech. However, in the wrong hands, anonymous communication can be used as a tool to commit illegal or unethical activities. Doxing involves the examination of internet records and attempt to reveal the identity of anonymous poster. For example, a doxer looking to track down the identity of someone who posted in discussion forum on the web site might search for clues to the poster identity on Facebook, Twitter, and other online sources. Some view such activity as the equivalent of a helpful neighborhood watch. Others like it. The activity to an online vigilante group with the potential of causing harm by identifying incorrect parties. Internet users who want to remain anonymous can send email to an anonymous mailer service, which uses a computer program to script the originating header and or IP number from the message. The use of a remailer keeps communication anonymous. What is communicated and whether it is ethical or legal is up to the sender. John Doe Lucid businesses must monitor and respond to both the public expression of opinion that may hurt their reputation and the public sharing of confidential company information. When anonymous employees reveal harmful information online, the potential for broad dissemination is enormous, and it can require great effort to identify the people involved and stop them. Hate speech, persistent of malicious harassment aimed at a specific person is hate speech, which can be prosecuted under the law, but general broad statement expression hearted of an ethnic, racial, or religious group cannot. A threatening private message sent over the internet to a person. A public message displayed on a website describing internet intent to commit acts of hate motivated violence against a specific individual, and libel directed at a particular person are all actions that can be prosecuted. Many adults and free speech advocates believe there is nothing illegal or wrong about purchasing adult pornographic material made by and for consenting adults. However, organizations must be very careful when dealing with pornography in the workplace, as long as companies can be shown that they were taking reasonable steps to prevent pornography. they have a valid defense if they are subject a sexual harassment lawsuit. Reasonable steps include establishing a computer usage policy that prohibits access to pornography sites, identifying those who violate violate the policy, and taking action against those users, regardless of embracing it is for the user of how harmful it might be for the company.
Sexting. Sending sexual message, nude or semi-nude photos, or sexually explicit videos over a cell phone is a fast-growing trend among teens and young adults. Controlling the assault of non-solicited pornography and marketing can scam. ACDA Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing (SCANCAM) Act 2003 specifies requirements that commercial emailers must 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 follow when sending messages that have a primary purpose to advertise and promote through commercial a product or service. The key requirements of the law include the from and the fields in the email, as well as the originating domain name and email address, must be accurate and identify the person who annotated the email. The subject line of the email connect mislead the recipient as to the content of subject matter of the message. In addition, if the message contains sexually oriented material, the phrase "sexually explicit" must appear in the capital letter as the first character in the subject line. The email must be identified as an advertisement and include a valid physical postal address for the sender. The emailer must be provide and return email address as some other internet-based response procedure to enable the recipient to request to future emails, and the emailer must honor such request to OPT out. The emailer has 10 days to honor the OPT out request. Additional rules prohibit the harvesting of email addresses from website using automated method to register to multiple email account or relying email through another computer without the owner permission. The Federal Trade Commission (PTC) is charged with enforcing the CAN-SPAM Act, and the agency maintains a consumer complaint database relating to the law. Consumer can submit complaint online of www.ptc.gov or forward email to the PTC at atmos.use.gov.